Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dandy App, maker of MyFitnessDJ and also the maker of the new, soon-to-be released, Cue My Ride app. It's an app that's specifically for people with Parkinson's to help monitor their tremors and symptoms before and after a workout. It also guides them through an indoor cycling workout that's very specifically tailored to help people with Parkinson's. So I'm going to jump right into it and give you a quick demo. Now this is going to be released within a week or two, so a few of the features may change ever so slightly, but this is going to give you an idea of the basic premise. When you open the app, you'll get a list of possible rides. There will hopefully be 3 to 5 on a rotating basis, and you can just kind of do the ones that you really like. I'm going to start number 2, Life. And all you do is select it, and it begins to play. You hear my voice guiding you through. I want to turn it down just a little bit because for this video, I don't want you necessarily to focus on the ride. I want you to focus on what's going on with the app. So one of the first things that I would do is make sure my Apple Watch is synced. So I would jump to the Apple Watch, I would go to the home screen, I would find Cue My Ride, I would tap it, and then I know that it's in sync when the countdown timer that is showing on the screen of the phone is showing also on the face of the watch. So the time and the zone that I'm in will always show on the face of the watch anytime you look. You do want to make sure that your watch is synced just at least every a few times in each ride so that the data will all flow to the watch, because that's a big part of the beauty of this. So as we move along, the next thing that we probably do is connect the bike. So we go to Tools and scan for Bluetooth bike. If I just start pedaling on my bike, and there it is. Yes, I've named my bike Flash. And I tap on Flash, and then in this screen I'm going to see the power and the threshold that I'm working. If I jump back to my play screen, I'm going to jump on over to one of the tracks where I'm just working at my best, testing my best. So you'll see that the one big tile in the middle of the screen is going to show you exactly what you are pushing into the ride as opposed to what's being asked. So the larger square shows what's asked, and the smaller square is showing what you're currently doing. So like right now I'm in red. That's great. Drop down to a little below, and so you just want to try to keep the zone of the background the whole time. So it guides you through. I'm going to show you now. So if you'll notice, I'm seeing the real-time watts, and I'm seeing my watt threshold as it inches up along the way. I'm also seeing estimated calories at the bottom. So throughout this ride, there will be 3 particular points that are calculated. One is an estimate of calories. One is an estimate of compliance. You could think of that kind of as how much endorphin rush you're going to get from the ride. That's a very rough approximation. And then the last one I call dopamine points. It's going to have a different name in the final release, but it's that third category of points, and it shows really what your best safe surge is for the ride. So speaking of a best safe surge, I'm going to jump up to one of the tracks that asks you for a best safe surge. So when you're on one of these best safe surge tracks, you're going to see Coach Moji's in the middle of the screen. Now your high water watt and your high water RPM will have been set by the time you get to this stage in the ride. And then the system is going to ask you to really go to your very best. So it's the best safe RPM that you can maintain with a solid gear. And your Coach Moji is going to guide your gear and your RPM. It's always there on the screen. Gear is on the left, RPM is on the right. So the Coach Moji that's smiling means you're exactly the right place. A finger that's pointing up means you need a little bit more. If you end up with a cursing Coach Moji, which is the red-faced emoji with the curse words across its mouth, that just means you've gone too fast. It's no big deal. It just means you need to slow down. So you'll go through the entire ride. There's a couple tracks. There'll usually be one that I call a yo-yo track, just yellow, orange in the middle. No big deal. And then toward the end of the ride, you'll finally get to the point where you've reached the end. I'm going to jump onto the end. And then when you reach the end, you're going to end up with this screen that will give you the opportunity to show the data in the end. So now you should know that when you start monitoring your symptoms with the Apple Watch, you will monitor for 7 days at a time. And anytime in the app, in this tool section or at the end of the ride, you have the chance to extend your monitoring for 7 days. So I'm hoping that you'll do 2 to 3 rides a week, and you'll be able to extend that with no problem. So once the ride is over, or if you go into tools, you will always be able to do a sharing graph of the last 5 rides, or you can export a CSV file of all the current data. Now like a big spreadsheet that looks really pretty boring, but maybe for a neurologist or for someone who wants to study the numbers, it's a great way to get access to all of that data. If you just want to kind of see the summary of the data, so you can do the graph, and it's of the last 5 rides. So I'm just gonna I'll put it into an email. I would recommend you save it to your iCloud drive, and then that way you could email it to your care providers. You could email it to your buddies to show how hard you've been working. But this is what you're going to see in each of them. So you'll see 5 rides, and they all have this same information. So in this case, of course, it was in a brief. I really was not writing very much, but it estimates that I had about 82 calories. The endorphin points 168, and the dopamine points 467. Again, in the final app, those points are going to be called something else. But for right now, those are the 3 scales. Just note those are the 3 scales that's going to be monitored. Now, of course, the app can't predict the future. So if you look at this one, you look at the chart right now that's showing, right in the middle represents the ride itself, and the 3 points that I just talked about show up in the chart right in the middle. The yellow, orange, and red. To the left of the yellow, orange, and red shows the tremors and Parkinson's related dyskinesia before the ride. And the dyskinesia are in green and the tremors are in blue. Now, I don't have Parkinson's. I do wear the Apple Watch and I do keep it active just to see. But you can see that there are really not a lot of symptoms that show up for me on this before ride. But there's an average of before and an average of after that's in this graph. So underneath, just here on the left, you can see before tremor, I had just 0.3% of the time did it sense that there was a tremor, and for 0.1% were there any dyskinesia. And then, but if I scroll on down through here, so let's say I go to this 5th ride all the way at the bottom. So at this point, all the data is in. And you can see not only the points that I scored in this ride in the middle as the yellow, orange, and red, but also you can see what my symptoms were before and what my symptoms were after. Now, again, as someone who doesn't have Parkinson's, this is not really that interesting. But if you do have Parkinson's, this will give you a quantified way of determining exactly how these rides are impacting you. And then my hope is that not only does it impact well, and are your symptoms either reduced or delayed, I hope that you learn which of these point values are more helpful in helping bring down your symptoms. And probably, I'm going to guess for a lot of you, it will be the dopamine points, because obviously that's highly related to your Parkinson's disease. But this is really about experimentation. This is about you kind of trying out and seeing how your symptoms change as a result of this work. So I know that was kind of a quick go around, but I hope that it has inspired you and encouraged you to learn more about indoor cycling for people with Parkinson's. And I hope you will try the app as soon as possible. Cue My Ride is the name of the app, and it will be available in the App Store very soon. So I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me at dave@dandeapp.com. That's DAVE@DANDEAPP.com. I would love to hear from you. Have a great day. Bye.